In this special edition of the Creative Strings podcast, you'll hear from young Ukrainian violinist Kostia Lukyniuk, 22 years old, and he is sharing his perspective on the events unfolding in Ukraine. It's March 3rd.
Слава Україні! Героям слава!
Hey, Chris. You hear me well?
Yes.
Awesome.
So, Kostia, are you safe right now?
Yes, now I actually am. I just yesterday, I made it back to my hometown, which is one of the most western regions in Ukraine. It's our region is bordering with Romania, so I am definitely safe right now.
Okay. And what is it like there on the ground for you, for your family? What has been happening for the last couple of days? Because I know you were in Kyiv, and what do you want people to know?
I just made it back from Kyiv, where I was there at the start of it and just until a couple of days ago, and I saw a lot of different action, and I heard it, and I just wanted everybody to know that this is like real war stuff going on our streets. Like, I was walking around, pretty much the 20-minute walk from my apartment, my former apartment now, that I had in Kyiv. I saw like melted down tanks, and like Russian military machinery and stuff like that. And obviously everywhere in Kyiv, everywhere you go, like every single, maybe like quarter mile, there are checkpoints with military personnel, and tanks and stuff like that. Everybody checking your passport, making sure you're not a part of some sort of like diversion group sent with weapons, because I've seen those too. I've seen our, the people at the checkpoint detain a diversion group, find a bunch of weaponry in there, and just I've seen those people, getting detained and like standing on their knees, facing the wall, facing repercussions. We can hear automatic rounds, going off, like active warfare sounds. And for me, I mean, I pretty much felt safe in there for the most part, but you never know what's going to happen, and especially now, since the Russian army is running out of rockets, they're like starting to hit like a lot of important targets, and they don't care about like civilian deaths or anything like that. And it's horrible what's going on. The civilian deaths last time I saw, it was over 2,000 people who are civilians who died just in this week, and we've had less military loss, than that. Although they have had a lot of military personnel and machinery loss, they were not expecting this, because our people, we have everything to fight for, it's our land, and we feel very like we're a very patriotic nation. So there's a lot of people who want to defend it,
Do you mind if I ask, how old are you?
I'm 22.
22, right? And I know that you recently graduated from Eastman Conservatory.
Yeah. I
was just wondering, and please forgive me if it's you don't have to answer anything, but I was just wondering, because I've heard that all Ukrainian men between the age of 18 and 60 or something are supposed to stay in Ukraine. And so what do you feel like you're expected to do, or have they made it clear? Like, I mean, not just for a violinist or a musician, but what is the role for all the men what is the expectation for men like you who are, and I understand that you willingly went to Ukraine. You were in the United States a
Well,
couple of weeks ago, and you went there. So, yeah, do you want to speak to that or not?
yeah, yeah. So my situation is kind of like this. It's not like I wanted per se to go back. Even though I do miss my country, I had no choice because since I graduated Eastman, my student visa expired. So and I stayed in the U.S. until the very last day that I could, which was giving they gave me like 60 days after my last days of school, which was December 12th. So on February 12th, I made it back to Ukraine. On February 24th, everything started. And I wasn't even, I was really looking forward to having my own place. I rented a place in Kyiv and was really looking forward to just like settling down a little bit, and getting to know the city and making some connections there. But I wasn't even in there for not much, because I was traveling around, setting up different concerts. And that's what I was excited to do. And I had multiple different locations and concerts in Philharmonic halls set up. But, unfortunately, everything kind of fell off, and right now it's true that, all of the men 18 to 60, we can't leave the country. And I don't know what the expectation for us is, especially for people who have no combat training, obviously, and yeah, like me, and I know that right now, I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying to uplift their spirit through music, and I'm also trying to share important information about my country through music. Me and my brother, we recorded a video, and it kind of, for me, it kind of blew up on Facebook, and so, and what I did was I included a link with all of the different charities and petitions to sign and stuff like that. So it got like 4,000 shares, and everybody who shares it, it shares that link, and I'm asking to support our country and the army, and everything. So I think I have that, platform. I've also been kind of bombarded with different people from the news, local Rochester news and Florida news who want to talk to me about this situation. And I'm so grateful that I'm given, and I'm grateful to you that I'm given this opportunity to share this about my country, that is just being destroyed right now, and for me, I am not really a soldier, even though when I was younger, I was fascinated with military stuff and stuff like that, but I'm not really a soldier. And I know that I have a different role. I have this platform that was given to me, and I'm still very young. I want to sort of continue grow my platform, and continue playing all over the world, and when people say, where are you from? Where did you learn how to play this? I'm saying I'm from Ukraine, and I'm letting everybody know that, this is where I'm from, and I'm proud to be Ukrainian, and share my culture. And I think that's my role, rather than trying to take a gun right now and get killed. And I think a lot of people, especially a lot of men right now, have their own roles, and I think if all of the men were just leave everything that they worked for and leave their jobs and go fight, the country would just collapse, because we have like men working everywhere, men politicians, men drivers, bus drivers, train drivers. I just took a train, if that driver, went in and got killed, I wouldn't be able to take a train, so it's like all these things there, everybody has a role, and I want to speak on that because, I'm throughout all of these messages of support, sometimes I'm getting, messages like, oh, why do you have your violin in your hands? You should put it down, and pick up a rifle and go fight, and that is just kind of hurtful to me, because, there's plenty of men who just choose not to fight, and they have, nothing else better to do, and me, I'm choosing to sort of use everything that I have, to spread this message and uplift everybody's spirits, not kind of in any selfish way or anything like that, but kind of working for the greater good, like however I can, because I'm not good with the rifle, but I'm, I can play the violin, and also I have this platform that I have, with some connections, outside. I just had an article written by this amazing writer in Rochester for Democrat and Chronicle, and they actually included this very, very important bit of history that I'm telling everybody, and not many reporters actually report on it. He was the only one who included it, and it was a part about the Budapest Memorandum. It's a document that Ukraine signed in 1994 with Russia, UK, and the US. And at that time in 1994, 1991 is when we gained our independence. In 1994, we've had the third largest amount of nuclear power in the world out of all the countries. We're third largest, and so we signed this document with U.S., UK, and Russia that we would give up our nuclear weapons and all of our nuclear arsenal. And now we're dealing with this problem that everybody knew that Russia is aggressive and and kind of off their rocket. So they just want to conquer land, because they've done this for a long time. They took a part of Moldova, I think in early 2000s. They also took a part of Georgia, an independent country, in 2008. So it's it's an aggressive country, and I feel betrayed since 2014. For us, it's been a reality since 2014, since I was a little kid, a teenager. We've had war, and my dad has been to the war zone in the East multiple times. He's been bringing, shells and stuff like that as souvenirs, and telling us, because he's a priest. My dad is a priest, so he works as a military sort of chaplain. And yeah, so it's just unfair that it happened to my country, and I'm grateful that I have this voice. And I think that's the role of any musician, in a time of crisis, is to sort of amplify the message, and maybe sort of share all these perspectives, that other people might not have heard about, because we have our own audiences that we have gathered somehow, and so and it's great for me, because since people know me and my music a little bit in different parts of the world, they're reaching out and supporting my country. And so for me, yeah, unfortunately, I know that I would not, take up a rifle and would not go and fight off Russians, because it would be a very, very high chance for me to just get killed off right away, because I have no training. And I admit to that. I can't even clean a rifle, but I can play the violin and do this and talk, and I have something that I've been working on my whole life, learning another language, which is like the most used international language, and perfecting my violin skills, and making some connections. And I'm just so grateful that I'm able to use that to talk about this, not in any sort of selfish, or not in any political way, nothing like that, just to let the world see what's going on, and how to just get rid of it, because it's a very scary situation. As I said, this country and their leader, they're very, very aggressive. They've been taking parts of different countries for quite some time now, and they feel just invincible doing this. And
you worked very hard to develop your audience, a relationship with an audience. You worked very hard to come to America and study at the Eastman Conservatory of Music, graduate. I mean, it doesn't feel like something that was just given to you, because you've talked about how your platform was given to you. And I find myself, inspired by what you're saying. And, I saw some of the videos that you've been putting up, and I want to make sure we let people know so that they can go hear and see the videos that you've made with your brother and some of the others, because what strikes me is that seeing you play the violin and hearing you talk and seeing you wearing, the
Ukrainian. Yeah.
It's like it all puts a very human face on your culture and your country that otherwise people wouldn't know. They would just hear a word, Ukraine, and
Yeah.
but to hear you play Ukrainian folk songs and to watch you and to see you, um, I think it's a way to tell a story in a deeper way, and maybe as they say, the battle of hearts and minds is a big part of
Yeah.
it. So it's just striking me hearing you talk about your role as a musician and how you have been able to develop relationships with people around the world and get a global perspective because you have traveled, you have learned other languages. That's a lot of work you put into all that at just the age of 22. And where can people find these videos? I just want them to be able to hear it. How can they follow you on social, on Facebook and Instagram? What do they need to know?
You guys can follow me. You just need to know my name, Kostia, Kostia, and violin. So you just type in Kostia violin, and in Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'm trying to put out videos. I'm gonna try to put out more videos now since I'm in a safer place. I have some plans. It's not really possible right now to make massive events, since and mass events in general, since everybody is on edge. But we're gonna try because my region here is so close to Europe, and it's like the smallest region, and we really don't have much infrastructure. So we haven't been bombed at all. We're like one of the very few regions of Ukraine that haven't been bombed at all. And so a lot of people are fleeing here. So we have a lot of refugees from Kyiv and from all other eastern parts, and we have a lot of problems that comes with it, and that's children, because most of it it's families who are fleeing. So we have a lot of little children who are growing up in this stress, and right now I'm trying to set up some small private sort of performances for the kids to sort of just get their mind off of all of this, because kids are growing up here, at the ages of 3 4, knowing what rocket means, and what shooting means, and stuff like that. And it just breaks my heart seeing kids go through that, because it's a new generation. They've already been going through 2 years of like lockdowns and all of that stuff. So for me, I just want to do something that I can, and say, anybody else could probably go out and guard something or help move something from one place to another. But to do this intricate thing, like play music, and kind of touch people's hearts, that's what we've been trained to do, and I think I should use it right now. We have other things, that I'm trying to do right now, because I have this connection to Rochester, where I've made a lot of really great friends, and they all know me, and they all know that I'm Ukrainian, and everybody's reaching out to me, and they're trying to set up some, fundraising concerts, and to help me. But I don't really need help right now. There's some So I contacted some local politicians today, and we're trying to figure out like uh, local issues that need help. Right now we have 29 pregnant women who were fleeing from like a pregnancy clinic. They were about to like give birth, but it got hit. So it got hit with a bomb in Kyiv. So they're fleeing. They made it here all the way. It's a long road, but they made it here, and some of them already gave birth, and some of them are like about to be due. So it's like a lot of the things that a lot of people are giving money to the army, and that's awesome. People should be doing that, but I'm trying to find these like local problems that I can inject the support right away. Maybe not even money, like go and buy supplies or whatever they need. So I'm trying to set up uh, this connection between Rochester and me, from where people are, they can, create these massive events or something like that, and they can raise funds. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to spend them right here.
So people reach out to Kostia on. I just want to make sure everybody's got it. Kostia, Kostia, and Kostia Violin. That's his handle. Find him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're gonna have audio as well as video
Right.
versions of this out there, Kostia. So that's why I'm
Yeah, yeah.
just spelling
Thank
it
you.
Kostia, Kostia Violin. That's his handle.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. It strikes me that you're trying to provide some refuge, I guess, for the children and just something to make people feel human.
Yeah, yeah,
Really, during this, what's got to be an alienating, fearful experience for so many.
yeah,
Um, and that to me goes back to what you were saying about what is the role of a musician, and it's to remind people that we're human. I think,
yeah,
especially in an environment like war, which I've never been in, and I don't understand, but I can only imagine. And I just want to say I'm really proud to know you, and really, so impressed with what you're doing. And I want to support you in it, and just I believe that the world wants to support Ukraine, and I'd like to believe that the world will step in to support
yeah.
Ukraine. So, yeah, thank you for what you're doing. For your people in Ukraine, and for your local community, and for spreading the word. If I could make, and you can just shut me down if you want, Kostya. but if I could make a, because we talk about this stuff all the time. I've known you for a long time, but if I could make a recommendation, it would be
Yeah,
play more of those folk songs, man. Because the one I saw, the folk song you play with your brother in the video, it was so inspiring. And I feel like if you made like more and more of those folk songs and you put those videos out, I think like you'll inspire so many people. So that's just for whatever
yeah.
it's worth. I think you're in the
Thank
right
you.
direction, man.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll definitely be doing more of that. Definitely.
What else do you want people to know right now?
I want you guys to know that you should focus on whatever you do best and try to perfect it and try to spend all your time to perfect it. So then you don't regret that you didn't spend that time and didn't spend it right. And I love something that you've said, Chris. It has changed my life after I heard you say this phrase. It was about serving people with what you do, and it's so simple. And now for me, it just seems like second nature. But I didn't know really about it, and so I think in any situation, there's always great situations in the world, but there's always adversity, anywhere in the world. Obviously you guys might not feel it there, but there's always been war. There's unfortunately war doesn't stop anywhere in the world, even for one day. Unfortunately, that's just the world that we live in. And I think I think people should just come together and use their talents to create better things, and not fall all of the evil sins, like greed and selfishness and stuff like that, because that's where it all comes from. Now somebody wants to take my land, and it probably came from him wanting to take somebody's apple, you know so it's like I just want to give out like and sort of like a general message that I hope everybody is sort of amplifying what's good in them, and trying to shut down everything that's sort of like evil and trying to corrupt them.
I think that's a beautiful message. And I think it's amazing that at this moment you're able to tap into that message. That's incredibly inspiring to me. You're an inspiration to me. I want you to know you're in my thoughts and my prayers, all of your family, and all the people in your country. Thank you for what you're doing, man. I hope that you get a lot of sleep in the midst of all this, because if you can't get rest, you're not going to be able to, I just want you to try to get as much rest as you can. And please reach out to me and let me know if I can help with anything. All right, brother?
Chris, thank you so much. You've been an inspiration for me for a long, long time. You've changed my life, and I really, really appreciate this conversation right now. And I hope everybody who's hearing it, will take on something for themselves. And if you can, please find ways to support our country right now in this, crisis. If you can find ways to support our army, there are a lot of different, official charities and whatever. And or you can reach out to me if you want to help my local people right here in this town, which got flooded with refugees. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Chris for letting me speak, and we'll keep in touch.
Okay, and everybody, don't forget, just go follow Kostia Violin, all of his handles, YouTube,
Yep.
Facebook, Instagram. All right, be well, brother. Take care.
Thank you. Peace.
Thanks for listening today to the Creative Strings podcast. By all means, reach out to Kostia at his handle, Kostia Violin, on the main social media pages. Look at our show notes at creativestrings.org or christianhouse.com or on Anchor. And you can find the links to support Ukraine. We're going to share the links that Kostia has suggested. I do want to thank our sponsors, Electric Violin Shop, electricviolinshop.com for all things electric strings, and Yamaha. Yamaha supports creative string players. We want to thank our sponsors for supporting this. I want to thank you for listening and wishing you peace wherever you are.